Hi, I'm Harry Chemko. I'm the co-founder and chief strategy officer here at Elastic Path. I'm thrilled today to be joined by one of our Elastic Path composable commerce customers, Frank Ricciardi. He's the founder and CEO of Maavee. And I've had the pleasure of getting to know Frank right from the beginning of the sales process here, and really delighted to be having a conversation with him today about his digital commerce journey and the vision that they've got and the path that they've been taking. So Frank, welcome. Thank you so much for joining for this, and would love if you just took a couple minutes to introduce yourself.
Sure. Harry, it's always good to be with you in whatever form that takes. Frank Ricciardi, founder of Maavee. Maavee means my life in French, and we're building a digital platform that has an e-commerce engine at the core that's powered by Elastic Path. So we're looking forward to telling a bit of that story today.
That's great, Frank. So tell me, first of all, before we get into a little bit that story, we'd love to kind of hear a little bit more about Maavee, about your vision for wellness, and just kind of what was the spark that I'm always interested to in the sparks that obviously I'm very I love entrepreneurs. I love the entrepreneurship journey, and would love to kind of just hear your journey and the spark and what Maavee's vision is today.
Well, you're wellness oriented as well, so I think we always connected on that point. I remember when we first started to talk, Harry, we kind of had a PowerPoint and a dream. We were a little bit down a path, but we had this grand vision of being the place where people come to experience their own personal wellness journey. We like to say that our vision is where wellness journeys unfold for people, for companies, and for communities. And our promise that has sort of evolved as as our own digital journey has unfolded, is to make it easy to discover the best of wellness along the way. When you're on a wellness journey, how do you discover the best products and services so that you can build your own ecosystem of support? Because we all know that being on a wellness journey is like being in life. Yours is different than mine. It's constantly changing and unfolding and morphing based on our needs, our desires, our interests, our context, our environment, whatever that is. And it's a mistake to think that we know or can prescribe what your wellness journey should be. And so we want to make it easy for you to discover the best of as that journey unfolds.
I think I always love that part of your business model, because it just really resonated with me, is that at different points in your life, there's different things that help you feel well, and you kind of need to have that choice around that. So
and also, Harry, when someone says, being mindful is really important, or meditation will produce these kinds of results. Yeah. Well, what does that mean for you? For me, it means a little bit of breath work. It means a little bit of music. I know people who use weighted blankets, who use headspace. We don't know what it is. And so you really need to discover, connect to things, find things that work and don't work, so that you can figure out what's your sweet spot, and know that sweet spot's going to shift over time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And just kind of have the avenues to be, to have like a curated view of that might be unique to you as well.
Absolutely. I mean, the curated view is interesting because when we started with the vision, as you may recall, we started with the consumer problem, which is the wellness industry globally is almost $5 trillion. Like, that's the size of Japan's GDP. So it's big and hairy and complex for a consumer, for a human. And so navigating through that is, not always the best experience. And so curation for the human to find the best of is really part of the solution. So, there's a lot of great stuff out there to support us. There's also a lot of not so great stuff, and I've experienced both. And so we really started with that human/consumer problem, but really evolved into this vision for an experience, not just the ability to shop. And so really what we're building is a platform that provides an experience that helps you really connect to that journey and shop well to be well along the way.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I think, one of the things that on that point, like entrepreneurial journeys do kind of end up bobbing and weaving a little bit as you kind of figure out the right paths, and you need to have a kind of view. And I know that the business model has continued to evolve over since the beginning there. So we'd love to kind of just hear a little bit about how your vision has maybe evolved even, over the last kind of year or so.
Well, it certainly has. And I really believe it's like constantly refining and finding that space where we really come into our own and add value. But, at the core, we're a marketplace. And so we are, as I said, curating the best of wellness. We make money when people transact and buy things, but we're a marketplace. And so the evolution was that for us, a marketplace wasn't really enough. We wanted to connect you, Harry, to that constantly unfolding journey, or said differently in terms of e-commerce, that long-term buying journey. And, what evolved was a platform, a digital app. And then we said, well, how do we really efficiently bring audience, consumers, solve a problem, a real problem, instead of just saying, oh, the market's big, come to us. We started or entered the market with our platform experience in the form of a digital app first, solving a problem for employers and employees. And that problem is, you as a business owner know, if you tried to guess what each employee needed in the moment to support their own well-being, you would fail. And so what we wanted to do was empower employers to really advocate for well-being, stand behind the things that they believe in, like mental health, or being moving and eating well, whatever those things are. But support the employee by allowing them to spend your money along their own journey. Said differently, instead of buying everyone a Fitbit, we love Fitbit, don't get me wrong, but not everyone would use it. So let each employee choose what they might want. And so in our marketplace, we allow employers to put money in a digital wallet that employees can choose how to spend on the best of wellness, among other things, to really support that experience. So that's evolved, and it continues to evolve. We're going to find some new thing to kind of optimize into, I'm quite sure.
I think that's a great model, and just being able to have accounts with people that can then choose and kind of make their choices or top up those accounts is really powerful for an employee benefit. And so a great way to get distribution as well early on. Yeah.
Absolutely. And look, we believe that companies don't just have an employee audience. They also have other audiences that might make sense. Like, what if you're a company and you're anchored in membership? Well, if that membership is around something around health and wellness, then it might make sense to offer the Maavee experience, not just to your employees, but also to your members. And so there's lots of ways where this can evolve. We're being very focused right now on employees. And, what Elastic Path has allowed us to do is also create instantly a direct-to-consumer experience that doesn't have the feature-rich app experience, but it does provide the great curation out there in the world. And so you could go to maaveegoods.com today and shop just as a human without that kind of employee experience at the moment.
Right. Yeah, that's great. And, as long as you got that vision journey, you've also had a technology journey as you've kind of figured out how to get where you are now. And there's a lot of feature and function that you talk about when you talk about the marketplaces and all the curated vendors, the idea of a wallet, the idea of like personalization. And I know this has been really core. So I'd love to kind of hear about your I guess your digital commerce technology journey, what brought you to Elastic Path, and a little bit about that would be great.
Yeah, well, let me start by saying we always knew we wanted a headless solution. So when we set out on the journey, you know, we have a long history in building technology companies, and we always knew this API first approach was what we wanted, because what we knew we were creating was something that was going to require a lot of flexibility. However, when you think about headless commerce, it exists on the spectrum. You know, there are kind of like the monoliths out there that were architected to be closed, and then they expose some APIs. And then on the other end, there's the, you know, which offers you a little bit of flexibility. And then on the other end, there are the, you know, API first headless solutions that, you know, it's ultimate flexibility. And then there's everything in the middle. And so, you know, I think we spent a little bit of time really trying to understand where we needed to be in that spectrum. And we made a mistake, actually. You know, we thought we would be able to get somewhere much faster with a solution on this side, you know, where it was more monolithic, but they had APIs. We thought we could get to market faster, but we ran into these roadblocks. And you pointed one out, the digital wallet. You know, it's our own form of currency. And so we ran into a roadblock pretty quickly, realizing that those systems wouldn't be able to support what we needed. You know, we were building an app first with a digital wallet, our own form of currency. We also needed to be able to take credit cards and take them both at the same time if need be. And, you know, that led us to Elastic Path, which was most definitely on this end of the spectrum, the ultimate in flexibility. And we wound up, you know, going down that path sooner rather than expected.
No, thanks for that journey, and I think that's important. It's seeing kind of how now to kind of make composable and API first commerce much easier and less risky has been really what we've been focused on, and I think you've been able to see that kind of evolution over time too, with things like Integrations Hub and just kind of ways to take, you know, give you some of the benefits of something that's a bit more out of the box, but preserving that level of flexibility. So have you been able to really take advantage of all of that?
100%. I mean, you know, we knew what we were getting out of the box, which was the engine that was going to power our business. But, you know, you guys brought to the table, we were not constrained by, you know, how we thought tax should work, or how we thought marketplace should work, or how we thought search should work. We were not constrained by what you would build, right? So we loved your model that there's an engine, and then we can choose tax when we're ready for tax, and we can choose marketplace. Now, of course, we're a marketplace, so we chose Onport by Farfetch first and made that work, right? So those two together, composed together, gave us exactly what we needed. So we started with marketplace, we started with payments, and we started with tax. Actually, to be fair, we started with marketplace and payments because there's no tax needed if you're not selling anything yet. So we did tax next, right? When we started selling stuff. And we'll continue to add composable solutions, like search is next for us. You know, I don't just mean search, I mean like powerful search, right? So we have this roadmap of things that we're just going to continue to activate through your integration hub. And, you know, we're just looking forward to continuing to add these feature sets that just bring more power to our experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really great to be able to see what you've been able to build with your team, relatively small team size, versus kind of the output and the feature and function that you've really had by being able to use some things like Integrations Hub and get that real instant on, you know, starting to get those integrations going that would have been large development projects before.
Well, I mean, I'll give you a real example. Like Integration Hub didn't exist when we did Marketplace.
Right.
So we had to integrate it, right? We worked with your team, we worked with our team, we worked with Onport, and we integrated it. And but when we did when we did the next one, Integration Hub was available and Tom did it, who's not our lead tech guy. So that is just getting valuable.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And, modern approaches to technology and composable and APIs is really starting to change the game in ways that I think that a lot of practitioners that have been around e-commerce for a long time don't really realize. It's just, you almost don't believe how much easier it can be than maybe if you were trying to build this out 3-4 years ago and didn't have things like Integrations Hub. Yeah. I mean, the capital required to kind of do something like that would be.
We're very thankful that we didn't do this 4 years ago, right? We would have had to have millions of dollars in the bank, right, to get this stuff off the ground. And that's just not the case today.
Right. What are some of the other, I'd love to hear, what are some of the other key attributes that that drew you to Elastic Path when we were starting to establish our partnership? I know that you kind of did a pretty broad view of the market, and we'd love to kind of hear a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, look, first, the tech was table stakes, right? Like, we're tech people on our side. Like, we've been at tech companies our entire career. So we kind of knew how to evaluate tech, and we were able to do it very quickly, by the way. But we knew we wanted a cloud solution. We knew it had to be proven. We knew it needed to be scalable. We knew we needed certain feature sets. But it was everything else actually that wowed us out of the gate. We were a small startup with a PowerPoint and a dream, as I said, and you guys showed up as if we were like some giant company buying your solution. Like, you, Harry, showed up, which I thought was amazing. You got to know me right out of the gate. The tech team was there, the product team was there, the service team was there, the support team was there. And when we had questions, it was just coordinated and it felt right. And what we did know, being technologists, that if we were going to choose headless, we needed a partner that knew how to show up. And I remember, if I can fast forward to the end of the sales process, I remember our last meeting, Harry, where we were on a Zoom call just like this, and above your shoulder were the core values of Elastic Path. And we were at the end of the sales process. I had never seen them before. And I remember leaning in and reading over your shoulder. And one of them said something to the effect of be in your customer's shoes, or show up like you're the customer. I forget exactly what the words were. What were the words?
Be the customer.
Be the customer. And I remember saying to you, what's above your shoulder? And oh, those are our core values. And it was like a 2x4 in the head to me, that no one ever said any of those core values to me. But as I read them, and the last one was be the customer, I remember saying to you, no one ever told us those in the sales process and pontificated about how you guys, what you believe in, but I feel every one of those. And it was kind of it's those things that just kind of put us over the edge. You guys were clearly the answer.
That's great to hear. And thank you. I'm glad you had that experience, because we do focus very much on customer success. And I know that you've got a deep background in kind of putting in customer success organizations. So it's good to hear that that's kind of coming out in kind of the behaviors that we have as an organization, because I do think that it's a big differentiator for us in this world of where things can get complicated. You need a partner that will really make sure that you're going to be successful no matter what, and no matter who you are. And that's, we think of all of our customers the same that way, and put that effort in. So it's great to hear that you've experienced that. And
it's not just an experience in the sales process. I can't be clearer. You guys never deviated from the showing up. Mm-hmm. And we're a year in, or a little over a year in with you guys, and everybody shows up, and we're just, we're not scared to ask questions about whether or not we, can you help us do this? Oh God, what if they're not available? You guys just show up, and it's been a game changer for us.
Great. That's great to hear. Really great to hear. Thank you for that. So, I'm kind of curious, just, as we kind of look at the years ahead here, what's next for you? How do you see this partnership evolving? What are some of the things that are really top of mind for you as we head into the latter half of 3 and 24 here?
Well, one of the things I think we did a good job of, and you did a good job of, both in the sales process and afterwards, was exposing to us your roadmap. And so, if I think about our partnership, one of the things that's already started to happen is you've asked our advice, on things that are coming. We love that. And so, we want to continue to do that. But if I just take it from a Maavee perspective, one of the things about our business model that we always had a hypothesis about was this notion of extensibility. We didn't just say, oh, we want APIs because APIs are cool and it's going to allow us to do whatever we want. We also chose it because we had this hypothesis that we might be able to serve other solutions. And, because we went with Elastic Path and headless, like true headless so early, we've been able to fast track some of those opportunities that we had hypotheses about that are turning out to be real. And so what I mean by that, and, without disclosing too much, we've spent a lot of time curating the best of wellness. And we just think we know there are other solutions out there that are not marketplaces. Their businesses are not marketplaces, but it makes sense for their solution to include a marketplace, wellness marketplace in particular. And so we're, teasing some of these deals out, and we're in opportunities where we can put our great brand partners that we've painstakingly curated, embedded into other experiences where there are audiences that really make sense to be able to shop the best of wellness. And so that's sort of next for us, and we're being opportunistic about it, but we're also just continuing to expand, I would say most importantly, our own connected digital experience. We built this business during COVID, so we maybe over-designed many years of stuff. And so we just continue to build out those features to really bring more value to the experience for our users.
Great. Yeah, and it's great to see you taking advantage of some of the organization stuff already. I mean, it's a really exciting kind of feature set launch for us, and kind of giving brands the ability to kind of create these kind of sub organizations and sub stores, and really create a B2B2C model to kind of offer their own platforms out to. So yeah, super excited
100%.
about it.
We're super excited about it.
Well, Frank, thank you so much for being here. This has been a fantastic conversation. I've really have enjoyed the partnership that we've had to date, and really look forward to what the future brings together with Maavee and Elastic Path. So thank you so much for being here, and looking forward to our next chat.
Harry, I can't say enough about how excited we are for the journey that's unfolding for both of us. And it's been great to be in lockstep and have your support along the way. So thanks for having me.